This week, a bit of ingenuity creates our slender, stylized scarf of beautiful red Naomi Eufloria flowers. In today's market, we're challenged by price and still wanting something very dramatic. Using the elements and principles of design and the prettiest roses on the planet, we're able to deliver an arrangement where fashion meets function. When creating a project like our dramatic stylized scarf, we're looking for a solution that does not have a huge mechanical base. We're challenged with creating something more narrow and slender. We have to be more creative. For that, we'll use the new Petit cage from Artesia. The Artesia Petit cages are unique because they're shrink wrapped. That allows them to have less damage in packaging. I took 2 of the Petit cages and soaked them in floral nutrient water. We're going to attach these 2 cages so that they go together like this. And for that, we'll use some zip ties. We'll send one through the convenient port on the top. And tighten that up. But we'll also ensure our design by attaching 2 to the cages on either side. Slipping those through the cage and tightening that up. Now let's not tighten it all the way so that we draw this off to one side. Let's wait to tighten them till we've got both together. I place that underneath the cage and underneath the cage on the other side. Tightening them both at the same time assures that I've got a great support system. Now I'll simply trim off the ends of the zip tie. I need one more key insurance policy. I want to wrap these 2 with anchor tape. Simply by taking the anchor tape and wrapping it twice around the Petit cage ensures that my cage won't fall off. Artesia cages are built with locking brackets to ensure that they're stable all the time. I'm just never sure what's going to happen with the design in transportation or delivery. It's an easy way for me to add that little extra insurance policy around my Petit cages. To ensure that our mechanic won't slide around when it's on top of a slick surface, we'll add 2 pieces of non-slick rug backing to the backs of the cages. We apply those with hot glue. A wood brush with natural bristles is a great tool for me to use in my glue pan. Now this is our mechanic for our stylized scarf. Today, I'm extending my work surface by using 2 styrofoam cubes joined together with double-ended Koei wood picks. We'll place our Petit cages on top of that. It allows me to elevate our design surface so that I'm able to create the extended reverse proportions that I'll use in the stylized scarf. The first thing we'll want to do is add a few foliage placements to give ourselves the idea of how big this arrangement will be. Green tea leaves will work great for the background for this scarf. Our first one goes in low in the cage to the back. That's going to formulate the line in the front. We'll place a similar one on the back side. That way we know it goes up and over the top. That gives us an idea of where our rose placement needs to be. Today, we're using a brand new variety from Eufloria flowers. It's called Red Naomi. Every stem from Eufloria is usable. Every stem is quality. There are so many advantages to using Eufloria in every project you create. Eufloria gives us dependability we can count on. It saves us so much in labor time because we have peace of mind of the quality Eufloria assures us. We'll start with that first extended placement all the way down at the bottom and continue with that same placement on the back side. We're working in a very narrow area. To create a scarf that's slender and stylized, we don't want to spread out too much on either side of our mechanic. It's important for me as a designer to know that each time I reach down into the bucket, I'm pulling out a quality rose. Eufloria delivers that for me all the time. As we work up to the top of our floral design, we start to add the roses. Notice that I'm not going much over the top of the surface itself. The great news for this rose is the water only has to go that far. And just from here to here into the beautiful big head of that Naomi rose is not a long distance. It's going to assure that my flower arrangement will look great for a long time. We can place another one of the Red Naomi right next to each other. Again, that's reinforcement, an element and principle of design, allowing two flowers to be next to one another to emphasize the focal area. As we get to the back of the design, we'll make similar placements so that the back looks exactly like the front. The ability for me to work on either side with the base I've created with the styrofoam cubes allows me to work back and forth, making sure that all sides of my arrangement are complete. We'll extend out on either side away from our focal area to cover our mechanical base. The placement of my roses are complete. I can fill in the rest of my scarf using ribbon and foliages. I'll start with a few of the tea leaves. To make a tea leaf smaller, because this one is almost the same size as the one underneath, I'll simply insert my fingernail into the tea leaf and run up the side of the tea leaf along the natural ribbing of the leaf itself. Then I can cut in with my knife and create a smaller size leaf that will be ideal for placement here in the floral design. Let me show you that one more time. My fingernail running up the side of the leaf. This was a technique I learned from Phil Reluta many years ago. He's so talented with tropical designs, and I always refer back to the incredible things I learned in his class many, many years ago. This also gives me a product he calls the fishtail. I can insert that into my design as well. And it adds a different texture and cascading quality. This technique works well when you have the happy opportunity of receiving giant tea leaves and need a few smaller ones for your project. We can also use a technique called window painting, where we use the same technique with our thumb to make ridges in the leaves. We're making those same cuts with our fingernails, following the natural ribbing of the tea leaf. But we don't extend that all the way to the end of the leaf itself. Then when we pull down on the leaf, we have a wonderful window painting technique that occurs. We can use that in the back of the design and pull down that portion of the leaf. That allows the window painting to show through. We can secure this bottom piece with a greening pin or also with another flower placement. I'm going to use one of the arrangement solution kits from Greenleaf. This one is called Morning Mist, and I'll use that to provide the rest of the foliages I'll need throughout my design. I'll use a piece of the Pittosporum to secure the window painting technique in place. We can also take a tea leaf, cut the point sharp, and invert it and pierce it back through the edge of the tea leaf, creating a circular form. It's almost like a ribbon of foliage being placed throughout the design. A sharp slanted cut, pierced back through the leaf itself. You'll see that it starts to almost look like there's a bow created out of the tea leaves. Let's do that on this side as well. If we need to adjust our roses as we're adding foliage, that's okay. Ultimately, we want the entire arrangement to be as beautiful as possible. We'll fill in our exposed mechanics with our other foliages from the Ask bouquet. Piece of Italian ruscus will follow that natural cascade down the front of the design. Adding tree fern on this side increases texture. I love the variety that I get inside the Ask bouquet. It allows me to use several types of foliage to accentuate my beautiful Eufloria roses. I don't have to have all of those different types of foliages in stock because they all come together in the Ask bouquet. Another piece of the Italian ruscus, so that we've mirrored that same piece of Italian ruscus in the front and in the back. Dividing up this piece of Ming and noticing how that texture of the little Ming fronds looks so great in front of that big, huge Naomi rose. We even have a couple pieces of lily grass in the arrangement solution kit. We'll use those both together so that we reinforce having two of them out the back of the design. A few pieces of leather leaf allow us to fill in any exposed foam we might still see. The stars of our scarf are the red Naomi roses from Eufloria. My final step is to add some ribbon just to accentuate our stars. I don't want to take away from the beauty of the Eufloria roses. Simply run a length of ribbon over my completed design and cut it off. Use one more shorter piece at the top. To add interest, I'll use a different width. It's still sheer ribbon. Now I'll secure those in place using a Koei wood pick. By pushing the ribbon directly into the foam, the Artesia grabs a hold of the ribbon and secures it in place. I can weave this throughout the design, pushing it down in between my rose blossoms. By running the ribbon over the top of the design, it allows me to tuck it in gently. No big bows or loops for me. I want it gently to flow throughout the entire design. One more added piece of interest is the snowball cord. It adds an element of surprise. It's an unexpected texture. It's just a little more interest in our design. We'll finish it all off with Crowning Glory. The combination of the Artesia foam as our water supply and Crowning Glory as an anti-transpirant will allow our roses to last as long as they possibly can. With Eufloria, I'm always secure that I have long-lasting American-grown roses. The Crowning Glory and Artesia simply step it up a notch. Today, we learned that only Eufloria offers you boutique-style roses, unique in color, expertly selected for opening performance. Eufloria is worth every penny in labor saving and quality assurance. It gives you peace of mind knowing that your customer is getting the very best rose. Why would you risk your reputation? Insist on Eufloria brand roses from your flower seller. Surrender to the prettiest roses on the planet. I'd like to thank the rose experts at Eufloria for their constant dedication to perfection, performance, and quality. Keep having fun with flowers.